Great. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. I'm Henry Calvert. Oh, the slides are just moving on a little bit too much. So I was waking up this morning very early, about 3 a.m. from jet lag, and fueled with a buzzing head from the last 2 days of information, and also the huge hospitality that was provided last night. So thank you very much. It is a privilege to be here. And what I'm learning is there's a lot of discussion around the B2B. There's a phenomenal amount of discussion around AI and the impact that that is going to have on the network. I'm going to give you a little bit of a rest here. I'm going to talk to you about B2B to C, business to consumer, or as we probably should be saying in the next couple of years, business to agent. It's going to change a little bit. So what have we been doing at the GSMA? And first of all, who is the GSMA for some people in the room that might not know? We're a trade association that run an event. We've got around about 1,250 members, and we hold probably around about 6 to 7 events around the world. You might have heard of Mobile World Congress Barcelona, where we have 110,000 of all you who join us in a big family and a big community to talk about the mobile industry. But it is converging, it is changing, and we've got some lovely statements about connectivity for good and what's going on. I lead an initiative that we called Open Gateway. We started this probably about 3 years ago. It's effectively been commercial for 2 years since Mobile World Congress Barcelona 2024. And it really is, you've talked about this in infinitum. With the world and application workloads moving to cloud-native infrastructure and the emergence of AI-native functions and features or agents or agentic AI, connectivity is going to become one of the most important elements of the network for anyone who wants to actually deploy a cloud-based service. And it has been for a little bit. And this isn't the first time the GSMA's tried to bring NAS through network exposure and APIs. It's not the first time. It's probably, I think, the 5th time we've actually tried it. And we've had some spectacular failures along the way. But I'm not here to talk to you about the failures. I've talked to you about what we've actually done. Some of it on the left-hand side here, we can see the value that we're sort of portraying. And I just want to explain this because I think it gets lost a little bit. The transactional value that you can actually make out of APIs, a classic one would be SMS OTP, which is one-time passwords, moving over to number verification. There's obviously a significant amount of value that's being migrated there. And we're sort of on track by 2030 to get 30 to 40 billion worth out there in the industry. So around about 12 to 16 billion what you're doing. We've seen, since we brought this initiative in, it is actually growing at an exponential rate now on transactional. But it's not the transactional capabilities of APIs, because every business case that I go to in mobile companies, they're basically saying, how much money and when's my return actually going to come through? But it's what you're enabling. You've spoken significantly about that today. But it's important to actually know that there's enhanced connectivities that you can get. Faster bandwidth, more bandwidth, lower latency, less distance between the store and compute that you're actually providing. That's value that can actually be created. And then there's other services about utilizing that store and compute if you so want to go into providing store and compute to support the workloads that are going across the network. So where have we got to? Back in September 22, and for 2023, we created an MOU. The GSMA was founded back in 1987 on an MOU, a Memorandum of Understanding. So we did the same sort of principle. Let's get behind it. The GSMA board's made up of 25 operators, some of the largest operators around the globe, that's representing how we actually move forward and what standardization we need to put behind that. We currently have 80 operator groups representing 292 networks around the world that surpass over 80% of the mobile connections out there. And the mobile connections we count at about 8.5 billion. So 80% are actually signing up to saying, this is the direction I want to go into. But there's another number there, 55 channel partners. It's actually 58 channel partners. Who are the channel partners? They're the platform providers that enable the services in the industry. They bring the enterprise requirements to bear by utilizing network APIs in any form. How have we structured this? What have we done? It's not just a GSMA initiative. I've actually been focused on, for the last 5 years, of actually aligning all the standards organizations and the associations that are trying to drive the industry forward. And we actually worked and said, the only way that this is going to work is if we have an open source repository. Who's the best associations for open source? Linux. So that's why Camara was actually created in the Linux arena under Apache licensing, because it's open, it's available for everyone to use. We also actually were looking at fulfillment from a mobile industry point of view at the time. Anyone know a mobile association for fulfillment? TM Forum? Sorry for saying TM Forum on this stage. Do I burn? And then and I'll talk about the partnership with Mplify in just a little bit. But it's actually bringing them together to actually orchestrate what needs to be done in the new world of actually going forward. And that's been over the last 2 years. We've actually got 66 Camara service APIs. These are things like, has the SIM been swapped? Can you verify the number? Where's the device? Can I provision can I ask for quality on demand in a particular cell site, going forward? And I'll mention what the use cases are about them in a minute. And today, we've got over 273 commercial APIs out there. Most of them are anti-fraud based, as I've just mentioned, or authentication based. But we're starting to see what we're calling a category called communications quality come through. Now, by Mobile World Congress Barcelona 2026, we will have over 2/3 of mobile connections covered by commercial APIs that are launched. That's what I'm here to stay. We're getting ready. We're going to be there. It's all based on an AS-based platform, and therefore, we need to extend it, and there's obvious reasons why we need to extend it. So we're starting, I've talked a lot about the consumer sort of stuff, anti-fraud and authentication. But at my heart, I'm trying to do the transition from 4G to 5G, the 5th generation. That era was meant to be an era that brought enterprises closer to their customers through mobile connectivity. I'll be honest, it's not been a great success. We've seen the fastest deployment of 5G technology. We've seen the fastest migration of handsets across onto 5G. So quite a lot of the phones that you have in your pocket will all be 5G at the moment. But have enterprises benefited from that? And that's why we started actually exposing capabilities of the networks to the enterprises on on what they need to do. We've looked at the vertical propositions in where we're actually going for. Mobility, banking and finance is quite clear. Retail, e-commerce, and media and entertainment, they all have possibilities of where connectivity is going to enhance their services. And just from a survey that we did just across the Americas we have here, we see that communications quality and computing services is obviously a high demand from enterprises that they want an improvement and a performance that they're not seeing from operators at this point in time. That leads me on to the value. This is sort of a picture, a daisy wheel of all the APIs that are available in Camara. And most of them are going around comms quality. How do I get that best reliable link, and how do I drive that reliable link in what we do? But there's another fundamental thing. I mean, this is sort of, we started this ambling away for network slicing. Anyone heard of network slicing? Great term. Dean. Slice denial, yes. And well, I'm like scratching my head going, slicing, difficult thing to do, and how are we going to do this? Just hands up, how many people have a mobile phone in this room? Put your hands down if it's not on Wi-Fi at the moment. Is Wi-Fi the last mile access? And does that all go over wireline? So everything I've been preaching about mobile and the capabilities you can get from a mobile network, actually for 80% of the time, your phones are stuck on a wireline network. Not stuck. They're performing a lot better. I'll be shot as a mobile evangelist after this, for sure. But it's the fact in front of us. It's all on the wireline network. So how do we actually bring the wireline and the mobile, and I don't want to say the word convergence, because how many years? I'm not even old enough yet to actually the word convergence. But it's how do we actually come together and actually making sure we can use NAS as that platform where that convergence can actually be. Because the world is going to be about endpoints. I've heard a lot about data centers and shifting data and connectivity and being able to have larger bandwidths at times of day and the tool sets that sit behind that. Absolutely brilliant. But at the end of the day, we're doing this for a better customer experience, and probably in about 2 years' time, and it's rapidly coming towards us, for an agent experience. Maybe it's an agentic agent experience that needs to be actually delivered on. So we have been working with Mplify with the support of Colt and Orange as well. And I just wanted to bring it into the example of if I did wanted to provide a network slice, and I'm not a tier 1 operator that has a fully converged network, and I am actually trying to provide a service to an endpoint. And the endpoint might be a fixed device, it might be a mobile device, but as we said, it's probably going to be network. There's still all those layers of transport that we need to actually orchestrate and coordinate together to make sure that we can actually have an attempt at making an end-to-end connection that is going to be stable. So this is where Mplify comes in as one of the critical type platforms and standardization that we actually see. Very similar to the TM Forum APIs, and then we've got the service-based APIs enabling the capabilities at the end of it. So we've had a go at real-time quality on demand, and we demonstrated this in Barcelona. And it's a demonstration that we want to take forward now into enterprise markets to show that there are real-life use cases that we can actually put that forward to. I actually have 37 published case studies at the moment on how this has actually been implemented in real life. There's a QR code there. You can go off to the site. We've made it a simple case study. They're not 37 pages long, each of these case studies. They're 1 page. Just explaining the benefit, the value, the impact that it's done in the industry. What was the pain point we were trying to actually solve for the enterprises? I'll give you an example that we talk about a lot. Alipay. Anyone know Alipay? It's that Chinese payment company. Can I say that in America? Will I be let out this evening when I get on the plane? All those sort of things. So Alipay, very much with WeChat as well in China, very much as a mobile phone device fulfillment for payments. 16% of their payments don't complete when people hit the pay button. That's a lot of money for them. I was going to work out how much it is, but you can do the 16%. Some of this is in the presentation. When we enabled quality on demand through the 3 operators in China, they solved that 16% reduced by 90%. So as they hit the button, the network asks for 5 seconds of quality across the air interface. and the payment transaction success rate improved by 90%. That is humongously valuable for those people in what they're coming to do. There's lots of other case studies here. I'm not going to go through every single one because I'm a little bit out of time. But the other thing that I'm trying to achieve as well through what we're doing is from a standardization and an association organization, we've always looked at it from the telco perspective, inside out. I'll build solution and they will come. We have actually now started to actually get enterprises to start to have a seat at the table through the GSMA to actually say, well, these are my requirements. This is what I need. Can you help me actually deliver that and drive standard there? Because I know I don't just want it in one market or one region. I might want it globally. And we've got some clear examples here. TikTok or ByteDance, same with another big company called Meta. Very much regulation is changing on them about having age qualification on their social media platforms. They've got, in 5 markets at the moment, TikTok are doing a proof of concept of number verification, not number verify, age qualification. It should be on there, not verification. We have to change it because of e-privacy laws and things like that. But for age qualification, they're going to want this globally. And they will want platforms that actually expose that and actually deliver to them. FICO scam signal, this stops authorized push payments, scam calls, that everyone is actually seeming to get at this point in time. Both Tata and Skydo very much are looking on quality on demand. Tata Alexia are looking for telemetry coming from motor vehicles. They want to actually schedule the time of day when they can upload the telemetry from the car, because they have a massive failure rate. They've got gigabytes of data to get off that car, and they've not been able to do that. Skydo is looking at drones and geofencing of those drones and how that needs to come. All of these scenarios that I'm saying has a fairly much a mobile endpoint on one side and a fixed, maybe server-side data center point on the other side. And the transmission between that needs to be orchestrated all the way through. I won't mention Shinoshis for the time. So we have done this partnership with Mplify because I think it is desperately important, especially when you think that 80% of endpoint connections are actually on a fixed line network. And that, I think, is underheld. I have talked a lot about B2B to C or B2B to A. I've tried not to mention AI or anything like that because I think the job still needs to be done, that we practically need to actually get these capabilities exposing the interfaces done today, not only from a wireline business, which it sounds like you're progressing very fast at, but also into that mobile industry. And deliver it across what we need to do. So I'll just leave you with, we're very much focused on application-led connectivity, converged quality on demand across networks, however you want to say that, communications quality, end-to-end SLAs, whatever that is. And we're always going to pronounce that standardization leads to monetization at the end of the day. So thank you very much for listening. And there's a little bit more information if you want to take the QR code. Cheers.